Good afternoon. My name is Agnese Alksne-Bensone. I'm here because I had a possibility to teach sustainability concepts in Turiba. And also I'm here because for past more than 14 years I have been interested in this topic when it was still not trendy. I have taught, I think, more than 1,000 different people, starting from state institutions and with business. So I tried very different methods, very different approaches, how we can change the mindsets, starting from 3-hour, 15-minute lectures, 3-hour lectures, and 3-day lectures. And actually works 3-day lectures because everybody breaks at least at the second day in the evening. So, and if you have somewhere to stay over for a night and even have discussions further, then it actually happens faster. So the values are very important. But today I wanted to talk to you about motivation and about what is very important when we talk about sustainability concepts when business is actually doing the business. I like to use a concept of Visser when we talk about age of maturity of business. So it means that we have some motivation why we do business. We have a motivation, first of all, to earn money, so it's profit. And in this age, companies usually are trapped in the idea that every way possible, if we earn money, is good. And we call it age of greed. This age of greed can trap us for a very long time. Some industries are still trapped in this age, and we are not able to go out of it. There usually happens some kind of crisis when we possibly get out of this greed stage. And our CSR strategy and sustainability idea is defensive. So our purpose is to defend our goals, why we actually do the business. For example, but you wanted this bridge. You need to get from point A to point B. Yes, we need the bridge. So whatever cost, we need to build the bridge. Or we need, or this service is very nice and we need to have the service. For example, small loans. Everybody needed the loan without checking the credit history, yes. But for example, what kind of social impact it actually created, that some people even can't go out of this round of loans for years and are for example, supposed to actually leave the country. So this age of greed traps us in defense mood, so we use CSR and sustainability practices to defend our business model. The next age for a company that matures is age of philanthropy. And some companies are still here and will never change their motivation to go out of it. And usually, companies who are interested in their reputation management, they use this CSR practices and sustainability practices as part of their reputation management. Okay, this is good. I'm not saying it's bad or good choice. I'm saying that companies are trapped in some kind of age where they mature. The next stage, companies start to think about what kind of product or service can bring benefit and what this benefit can be environmentally friendly or social benefit. So we are doing it as a motivation of promotion. Our promotion is based on a responsibility, on green. We know the greenwashing. The trap here is greenwashing. So it's about how we are delivering the message. Are we clear about what we are delivering? Do we have scientifically based evidence? Are we not cherry picking? Are we just changing the logo? What is typically everything what was red becomes green in logos. I think you know what I'm talking about. Some brands already in our minds are rolling. So this is a very comfortable place to be. So promoting the motivation of sales, this is, we can sell this idea to our board and to our shareholders. The next age of maturity is when companies becoming large, they need to start to create some internal systems how to defend themselves and how to push management to think about ways how they can protect themselves from different groups of people, like environmental organization, some kind of negative reputation, risks. This is a risk approach. So companies, when they get bigger, they start to think about risk management. And they create systems internally to protect their assets and also to protect their assets in long term. So this is a strategic decision. We want to be responsible company, we want to be sustainable company, and where the trap is here. The trap is here that we have built internally the systems, but we forget how and why we actually choose to be a responsible company and what is our long-term mission and values. There are enough evidence, for example, cases around the world where we are stuck in the management age because, for example, we say we have a code of ethics or we have suppliers policy and we purchase responsible goods, but there is plenty of other issues that we are not seeing. So we are not capturing. And if our strategic decision was to not see the evidence that we are actually not doing good business, so our management systems helps us to do that. Regulation that we see now what's coming up, like every 6 months, new regulations are coming up to be more sustainable or responsible. They trap us in this management stage. And our motivation is to follow regulation. Sometimes we understand that maybe the business is not actually catching up on the real issues, what is the need of stakeholders. The next stage is transformation age, and we talk about age of responsibility. So usually when startups are starting their business, they start from this part. Because you can get money now, there are enough funds who will sponsor you to create your business that is transformative, that interrupts industries, and this age of responsibility is something where very comfortable feels new business. Sometimes new business also ends up in age of greed. and that's why I think our previous speaker, Christine, she was talking about the role of universities, what kind of business models we teach, what kind of values we teach. And this is crucial that the startups doesn't start from the age of greed. So we have learned that lesson. That doesn't work in long term. And then there is another stage. I use Visser's classification of the age of sustainability and CSR. And my interpretation about what is the new approach is the red dot there, half the dot. And it's CSR 0.3, it's called regeneration. So it means that companies are actually interested to renew the resources what they have used, or to rebuild the societies, or to rebuild the brands, employer as a brand, to rebuild the human capital, to rebuild communities. So regeneration is the next big thing where we will see how companies will differ from their strategic goals. And it is based, the motivation is based on survival in the long term, because we can't eat money if we don't have place where to eat, where to actually live. And also resilience of the business, how long I actually can keep being profitable, how long I can still earn money in this particular territory, and how much it will cost me to actually change my place even of action, and even if I will have resources to do my business. So I have shown this picture to one of PhD doctors in economics in Latvia. He is president of one large company, and he told me that this is like a Maslow pyramid of business. So we talk about basic needs, and then we talk about the values. And many companies in Latvia are stuck in reputation and promotional mood. And large companies in Latvia who are working in export markets, mostly, like 90% or 80%, they are going to transformative age, and they are talking about regeneration. And the problem is not the new companies, maybe, not so much, but the already existing businesses who know how to earn money, but they don't know how to transform. So here also, if we talk about education of entrepreneurships, there is a lot of, for us to work on. Next year. Yes, you will see, you will have presentations. This slide I will not go through. You will read this idea. Only thing what I would like to mention, if you have a sustainability strategy today, you will stop here. You will stop the status quo of your actions. If you're using resilience strategy, regeneration strategy, then you are actually building up your impact and positive way. Because here we are talking about the negative impact mostly. And here if you want to talk about positive impact, you have to talk about and think about your business, how you will rebuild the materials, the resources, and the communities. I also like to talk about sustainability in a manner of balance. So usually when we talk about sustainability and we approach businesses, they are thinking that we are some kind of crazy NGO or crazy expert who is asking them to stop earn money. So we would like to talk about balance. When you do the business, we should look at our business, how we still profit, and how we will respect the environmental impact and respect the social impact. Another lesson learned, companies sometimes think, if I can't do 100% everything clear, I will not going to do anything. And this is also a trap. It's about small steps for the bigger picture. And I would like to invite us as the teachers and as people who actually work with businesses and young students to sell this idea. Because not doing anything, it's not going to change also anything. Next thing. Yeah. And when we talk about balance, I like to use this picture. It's called the sustainability wedding cake. And the wedding cake can't be stable if you don't have a ground. And the biggest layer of this is environment. And I would like to talk about, and I'm talking about environment from perspective of common sense, that in a place where we can't breathe, when we don't have water, when we don't have a place where to actually, I don't know, in Latvians like to spend their time in the woods or picking mushrooms or anything. If you will take away this lifestyle, in some European countries this lifestyle doesn't exist anymore, then we can't talk about a healthy society, and we can't talk about some kind of governance and management and finance risks. So the wedding cake and the balance, we need to think about our business if it actually, we are playing part of it or not. Not every business plays a part in environmental issues, of course. But there is some small things that you can still find even in the business of service. Yeah. Yeah. And when we talk about planetary boundaries, we already have done a lot. And I think the ones who have read the IPCC report feel very doomed. That we can't do anything. I would say that we still have some boundaries that we have not crossed. And I would like to say that to stop crossing the boundaries, we have to interrupt our business. We have to stop and say, okay, what is my role and what kind of part I'm playing here and what kind of resources I can dedicate to change this situation. And where business stands, when companies are discussing about what kind of sustainability goals I have to put my interest in or focus, I think the most innovative and most interesting goal for us is number 12. It's called responsible consumption. So it involves a lot of parties, like customers, my own business, my supply chain, my business model, how I actually work, my production line. So this is 12 is a lot. There is everything. There's climate, there is people. 12 is my favorite sustainable development goal. where we, as you can see, nothing has been done so far. So there's a lot of opportunities because it's the biggest risk if we are not doing anything. Yeah. And also from theoretical part, who likes to read theories, then concepts are changing. So we are going from shareholder perspective to stakeholder perspective, and it's also something that interrupts businesses and that transforms businesses. Also, we have in Latvia now discussion with the Ministry of Justice about how to change a law that actually we talk about the business responsibility not only to earn money, because in the law it's written, we have to earn money and be profitable, but also add that companies are responsible in front of community. So it means that stakeholder perspective is also entering law, and this will interrupt also business as usual. So I think this will also change our perspective. So universities are usually teaching shareholder perspective, but the new business model is stakeholder perspective business model. And if I may, one remark, funny remark, around 7 years ago, I was talking with a large bank, and I said that stakeholders will dictate what you will report and what you will talk about with your client, and they were laughing loudly. But it's actually happening. So I would say that this is interruption of business as usual, and law and regulation, what's coming from European Union, who wants to be a driver of these issues, are making this interruption happen. As I already mentioned, new regulation, but you have to pay attention, and companies should actually understand that without knowing this law, they will not going to be able, first of all, to get finance. If you want to take, for example, loan for investment, and it's more than 800,000 euros, today you are requested to follow up the green taxonomy. So EU taxonomy is there. So we have taxonomy, localization, corporate sustainability reporting directive, due diligence directive for human rights and environment, and local laws that is setting the framework where we should not only report but also change the business model. Drivers for sustainable business practice. The best one, I like the clients. It's B2B sector, so those who are exporting are already requested from their clients to report on their sustainability, environmental impact, human rights activities, code of ethics, so everything is already happening. Regulation, legal acts, already mentioned, and the regulation actually started from finance sector. A few years ago, when we were discussing with businesses what will change the landscape of sustainability and business practice, they said one of our conclusions was if finance sector will be changed, everything will change because you should follow the money. And banks are now requested to follow the money. And when banks are requested to follow the money, then the businesses are responding. And this raises the questions if our money gets to the best business possible, what is sustainable. Availability of finance and employees. Very interesting, new generation wants to work less in a green environment, in responsible environment, in a healthy environment, and they are not even raising the question. They are very surprised if it's not happening. And so we have to be aware that young employers will request that, and you will have to fight for talents. And if you fight for talents, you have to offer them. This is two-way street. It's not anymore that some kind of slave and boss relationship. It doesn't work anymore. Challenges and opportunities. Next slide. So if we talk about business and environment, opportunities, there is a lot of innovation about CO2 accumulation, funding, SDG 12, already mentioned, circular economy, in the industry symbiosis, what for other industries a waste, for other one is a resource. These are a lot of things. Communication, a lot of environmental communication must be done due to the fact that customers are not enough clever to choose your product if you even are green. And the challenge is greenwashing. I like the Planet Tracker classification of greenwashing. It's green crowding, green lightning, green shifting, green labeling, green rinsing, green hushing. I like green hushing because green hushing means that I am not telling all the story. I choose not to tell. And this is something where we as customers will suffer because we will not going to see a whole story. Something that is common for the challenges and opportunities, a lot of startups are going into scientific data and evidence startup business. So because we need evidence to be clear about what we impact and what we can communicate. And customers also, challenge, huge challenge, how not to buy a small plastic bag in a supermarket. I think everyone who is trapped also in this issue. Social impact, challenges, diversity, external and internal migration due to war, conflicts, and climate. Huge issue. We will face that, and the wall will not going to protect on a border migration from other countries because they can't live anymore in the places it's too warm, too floody, or anything else. Work safety, health of workforce, demography, supply chain, and diversity quota. A lot of things, a lot of issues that we need to face. What is our opportunities? Just transition. Design our workplace for everyone. Design our workplace inclusive. A safe place to work, workforce flexibility, holistic well-being strategy, human rights in supply chain also can be an opportunity, and employer branding. The common also opportunity and challenge is scientific data, evidence, and inclusion. So this is also an opportunity and challenge because it is challenging to understand how we can go out of our comfort zone to actually invite workforce in our company that is maybe not usual workforce. So that's also a lot of education about that. And business and governance, opportunities, finance sector requirements will give us more better solutions to investment, ecosystem ownership and control, new business opportunities. So if the business is doing actually their service production, so they go into recycling business, also they go into side businesses, material businesses, and so this ecosystem, they are becoming owners of the ecosystem. That's also something that is changing. And challenges, new regulations, at least 1,000 data points should be reported from regulation about sustainability. Zero tolerance for corruption, reasonable profit. These are also challenges because when we think about expansion of economy and growth, it's constant going up numbers. So this will be a question, what is a reasonable profit for your organization to stop using the resources or maybe do it in another way? And the business model transformation, transparency for the governance and economy pillar. Yes, other trends. I will not go, I don't have more time anymore. Impact boundaries, what I impact, how I impact, big data for sustainability, data, setting science-based targets so we can prove it. Suppliers due diligence, huge issue. Nobody knows what's under our supply chain. Customers, new businesses, war the game changer. These are challenges and trends what we see that business is facing, and we would like to work with that. And I'm convinced that everyone can do business better if they want, and I wish that you succeed in that as a teachers and bring this value forward.